Go ahead, Todd. This is
right,
Todd Furber, and we're at Cherry Lawn, and we're in his nursery.
Right. So we just got like a little mini trellis. Closer and overkill, but what we had handy.
Yep.
And,
use them. They're strong.
Yep. And because we're going to be growing them for another year, so these trees are going to, they're going to be right up there.
So about how tall are they going to come out? Like 7 foot?
7, yeah, that's 7 foot. You know, some of them I see with Chip Bailey had 8-foot trees, so we'll see how these do.
Yeah.
You can see that we kind of stubbed them, a lot of them, because we have to be able to get our equipment down through the rows and stuff. But you know, these are nice enough. We could have planted them. We could plant them next spring if we wanted to. But like I said, we want to do this grow through tree, so there's 1 year closer to production, and 1 year less of an investment for trellis.
Yes.
So cheaper to grow them in the nursery than it is out in the orchard.
Makes sense.
Yep. So,
and you used my FLX nursery post.
Yep. So you can see.
How's that height working for you? The notches? I mean, because we're experimenting with this.
Sure. So I think it looks fine. You can see where we're at. We will not put another wire in here. We just need just the 2 wires just to hold it, and then that's what you'll see. And we'll take it down.
And how far are these in the ground?
I'm not sure. It's
were they 6 foot or were they 5?
Yeah,
no,
they
6.
must have been all 6.
Yeah. And they drove nice and fast.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, they are nice, and that is nice and sturdy.
Yeah.
How did they do with rocks?
Well, it's all sand.
Okay.
We're lucky in that respect. We don't have a lot of rocks. So we'll pick sites that doesn't have rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you use to drive them in with?
I didn't, my brother Ted is the one to talk to. I was off doing other things when he did it, and I never asked him. I don't know if they use the tamper, did it quickly with a little tamper,
Yep.
On the excavator or not. I'm almost thinking that they did not, but I don't remember. I have to ask them.
Yeah, and what I like about these being that rail steel, look how none of them, I don't see any of them with any kind of a dog ear or anything. Yeah. And did he ruin any of them putting them in?
Not that I'm aware of.
And you like the notch design of that?
I think it worked great for our application.
Yeah. And then you can pull them out and reuse them.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And your post spacing, it looks like you're a little tighter on the hill.
I think they're all roughly the same. I'm not sure what he did for spacing.
What's that,
there.
like 50? No.
Yeah, it looks like, 40, 50 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you did, yes, you're overkill with the anchor, but either way, even something like this, you got to anchor it really well, so it's not overkill.
Other nurseries, they use twine, but we kind of just figure we use wire. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And it's going to be strong enough.
With these type of poles here, it's perfect for the wire.
Yeah. Yep.
Just run your wire down through.
Yep.
Put it in the slot, tighten it down.
And I would think with the twine, I know with the twine, they couldn't have gone the post spacing that you went here.
A little more of a mess when you go to take it down. This right here, we can wind it back up again.
Yeah. Yep. And that twine, I don't think there's any way they could get as wide a post spacing. So everything's a trade-off.
Right.
Yeah. So with the high tensile wire, you can get it tighter, open up your post spacing, but now you're using high tensile wire.
Like I said, being our first time doing it, will we find that we can get away with more in the future? Maybe, but we wanted to.
This looks about right. And
yeah.
when I'm seeing that tension on it,
yeah,
and that little bit of sag, I'd say you hit it good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is impressive, Todd.
Yeah.
And what's the reason for the 4 rows? Obviously, you have the machine row, but
our planter is in 4 rows.
Okay.
4-row planter.
Okay.
So we designed our equipment, for that, and everything's done by GPS. So
Nice.
Yep. Yep.
Nice job. Good looking too.
Done well.
You probably could have just grippled it, but you put the wire on it just to play with the tension, the wire tensioner.
Sure.
Gotcha.
I like the tensioners. You can maintain it. You know?
Yes, yes, and it
Yeah,
you
they're
can
4
loosen
hours.
it. You can reuse the things. I agree. I agree. But
Gripples, I've seen gripples. We've had them to where they got slack for whatever reason during, you know, and it's like we've been replacing them with these things, and it's just like,
yeah.
I don't trust the gripples either.
Yeah, especially as an inline tensioner. Yes, never, ever, ever do I recommend
You
that.
can see, they did use a gripple on the top here. So I don't know if there's a tensioner down to the other
Yeah.
end. I'd have to look and see.
So you can get away with tensioning this and keeping the right tension just using this this gripple here. Honestly, what I would do is I would have it out a little bit further, and that will hold the tension better. I'm not talking about splicing it in the middle and omitting that as a tensioner. You would need a gripple on both ends.
Yeah.
So what happens when you get any kind of vibration, this is, it has to go around the
We've been here
post.
before too. We've
Yep.
done that.
Yep, I see that. But when it's up close, it actually opens up the lock a little bit. So if you just let it be back a little bit further,
Okay, that's good to know.
and then, you know, because as you're drawing it up, you're pulling up a lot of slack. You know how you tend to be on one side of the tool and just cranking away and pulling the slack through?
Sure.
You always, just before you get the proper tension, you need to go to the other side of the gripple, which being back here, it's easier to do that. And then give it a couple pumps with the tool on the other side, so you're locking both channels of gripple in.
Oh,
Because actually what can happen too is you're taking up a lot of wire through that. Those little serrated ceramic wheel fill up with some of the galvanizing on the wire, and you're only really tensioning one side, so it's kind of two little things working against you. I'm not saying it always fails,
right.
but
You see
if you do those other steps, they work great.
Okay. That's
You know,
good to know.
yeah, just save you time. But I do like those.